It's time to go racing here at the Charlotte Roval. We're doing some left and right turns here tonight for the 988 Suicide Preventions 150 presented by Grace the Cat here for the In the Pits News Truck Series. Charlotte Roval coming up on the end of the regular season here. This is going to be an intense one as we get ready to head into the playoffs. A curveball is thrown at our drivers. Can they make it through, and who will survive and come out victorious? I'm Dawson Allen. As always, alongside me in the booth is Adam Kuhn. Adam, welcome.
Evening, Dawson. Excited for another road race here. Like you mentioned, end of the regular season, so it should be very exciting. Got a lot of points up on the grabs tonight, and I think we're going to see a lot of changes in the end of the regular season standings beginning tonight.
Yeah, and you mentioned that about, changes in the standings. First, we're going to take a look at our remaining schedule here to close out the season. Obviously, the Charlotte Roval is tonight. We're in that final column there. We're in the home stretch. After the Roval, we go next week to Atlanta, the wild card, where we will determine our playoff grid. And then, of course, the playoff races at Chicagoland, Bristol, Homestead, Martinsville, and we close out the season all the way in Kansas, February 25th. So we've got a good amount of racing here left, but the playoff push is still a long road. As we take a look at your playoff grid, let's get that pulled up there and show you here. This is your playoff grid as it stands. You can see the top four are mathematically locked in no matter what. It's Jonathan Parker, Michael Krueger, Justin Durand, and David Durand. Alex Kerfin is 5th in points. Dalton Kelly has scored 6th. Alonso Chicano is 7th. Andrew Elias is 8th. Dakota Knoll 9th. And Ryan Bogey 10th. Of course, Knoll and Bogey are in the wild card spots with their race wins at Phoenix and again last week at Michigan. And Jason Gracias currently sits 30 points out of the wild card, and with that, you notice Cameron Caldwell and Brett Bennett an asterisk next to their name. Let's go ahead and explain that to you there. The reason they are with an asterisk next to their name is those two drivers are going to be missing some playoff races, so they have foregone their eligibility. Cameron Caldwell has prior engagements, and Brett Bennett, just a couple of weeks ago, he was found to have been robbing houses, possibly. That's what we've heard so far through the grapevine. It's allegations of armed robbery and breaking and entering in his home state of Tennessee. So we'll have to see what the courts say about that one. But in all reality, he just won't be able to make these races. So with that change, Andrew Elias becomes the 8th place driver in points. He is 59 points now above Matthew Stotts, who now becomes 9th. And it really shakes the points up heading into Atlanta. Adam, what are we seeing out of this with this shakeup with these two drivers declaring to not be able to run for a championship?
Yeah, it's a little bit less pressure on the cut line. Brett was right there in the midst of the battle for the top 8. Allows Alonso Chicano to have a little bit less pressure on him sneaking into the top 8 now, like he has done in the last couple weeks. And it's going to be very unfortunate not to see those two run in the playoffs. Cameron, obviously a former champion, and Brett was contending for a playoff spot last season as well, so he was very disappointed to come up short and not able to contend for it again this year, even though he was right there in the hunt mathematically in the standings, of course.
Yeah, you see Cameron Caldwell out here practicing for this race. 5th fastest right now on the boards. Tristan Maher is 1st fastest. Michael Krueger 2nd. Jonathan Parker 3rd. Alex Kerfin 4th. And Cameron Caldwell, your defending race winner here, is currently scored in the 5th position, as you can see there in our new and refurbished bottom driver info ticker, thanks to, of course, the great Cameron Caldwell for making these things run the way they do and making these broadcast graphics so nice and smooth and beautiful. So with that, we've got about 5 minutes left here in practice. We see Cameron Caldwell is currently out on track looking to see a lot of guys are out there getting some laps down. One of those guys that's been a little bit further back and is kind of struggling here, David Durand, he is 13th fastest. He is 2 seconds off of the pace set by Tristan Maher. And David Durand, though, doesn't really have to worry about this race. He's here just to ride it out, see if he can maybe get some points in terms of getting ahead of brother Justin for that regular season finale to try to get an extra bonus when the playoffs reset.
it looks like we got a couple guys practicing a mock start. Got 5 trucks on the banking, now 6 make that with Scott Roush joining them. Alex Kerfin and Tristan Maho leading them, so it's going to be interesting to see them and how they affect anyone actually running on a lap right now.
Yeah, as they go around
But we
here.
know,
Yeah, well, sorry, go ahead.
going to mention real quick, Dustin, a lot of guys have not practiced restarts this week. A lot of practice sessions have gone up, but just single lap runs, long ones maybe. No one's really done a mock restart, and this could be the first one we've seen tonight.
Yeah, and of course, you know, with this race, there's only admin cautions. There are no 4 incident cautions on the track. We've got local yellows, and then we've got the admin cautions, and there's only going to be one of those used, and that is going to be at the conclusion of the stage, and I believe it's lap 18 is when that stage is concluding. We see them kind of lining up here, getting ready for this mock restart to kind of see if they can set things up properly. As you see, they'll take their green flag, and actually it's lap 17 is when the stage will end. So watching this here, heading into this first corner is going to be interesting. You see Jonathan Parker had to get out of it there back in the background, and you see Scott Roush missing it entirely, hitting that inside wall, immediately towing back away. But we'll cut back to this action here as they practice at least a little bit of a green flag run before they go green to see what they can do with each other, racing around other competitors. You see Alex Kerfin and Michael Krueger, 2 heavy hitters, possibly favorites. When you see Brett Bennett sitting into the wall back in the background, found his way into the wall. But you got to wonder here, you know, this is absolutely going to be set up for some test. You're practicing how you race around these guys, but you're also going to practice maybe some battles for positions like we saw last year. The battle between Chicano, Bennett, and Durand for that 5th, 6th, and 7th spot, how intense that got. Do you think we see any more of that tonight here, Adam?
Oh, absolutely. Every time we come to a road course race, we usually see a couple guys get into their packs and get into their rhythm, and they can't seem to get away from each other throughout the entire night. You mentioned it happened last season between Bennett and Chicano, and happened at Watkins Glen. It was really the top 3 with Cameron and Caldwell running in 3rd, Aaron Siciliano in 2nd, and Mikey Krueger, who led the entire race pretty much. They were 1, 2, 3 the entire race, and they never got far from each other. They ran in their own pack, lapping through the back of the field, and it was a pretty consistent night for them all, other than Cameron being able to make up to 2nd spot and pass Siciliano at the checker, but Mikey Krueger led 68 of those laps that are walking on, so a pretty dominant day there.
And of course, Michael Krueger not only winning at Watkins Glen for his first road course win, he became only the 2nd ever driver to win a road course here in the InThePitsNews Truck Series. Cameron Caldwell had swept the first 3 races, but then Michael Krueger finally was able to break through and break that chain of dominance. But seeing tonight, I mean, the guys we have here racing, and you see somebody flying in the background. Somebody launched back in the back there off of the turn 1 wall. But seeing right here, these 2 here on screen are the 2 that I'm looking at the most. Michael Krueger, of course, winner at Watkins Glen earlier this season and also did very well last season at the Charlotte Roval. But Tristan Maher, fastest in practice so far. He's shown a lot of speed in these practice sessions they've been putting up throughout the week. He is absolutely going to be one to watch throughout this race as well. And then even Jonathan Parker, who, you know, we've seen, you know, dominate the oval races. He's had a pretty good showing thus far. Currently 4th fastest in that number 81 machine. Definitely want to keep an eye on as well. So we've got a lot of guys here that are definitely capable of pulling off a win here tonight. So it's not just going to be a battle between 1 or 2 guys.
No, absolutely. It's good to see a fresh face up there, Tristan Maher. Not new to league racing, but a little bit new to this league, a couple starts. But this season also, but good to be leading the field, and a couple guys are happy to see him up there at least and not stealing, or at least stealing some playoff points away from Cameron Caldwell and Michael Krueger.
And with that, that is going to do.
If he would be able to perform tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. You're good. You're good, Adam. So with that, that is going to do it for practice, Tristan Maher tops the board. Cameron Caldwell was 2nd fastest at the end of it. You know, that's the way it's going to be. We're going to be keeping our eyes on that to see who can come out on top and who can win this race tonight. So as qualifying will get underway here shortly, we got 10 minutes for these drivers to get out there and qualify. Looks like the first driver to pull out on the grid is Michael Krueger, driver number 14. So we're going to follow along with him and see how he does. The sad thing is, too, with ATVO and the way it works, some of these tracks don't have a map. So if we were to pull up our qualifying ticker like we usually use, it's just going to show you a circle. And that's what sucks about it. But we can still pull that up, and we can still kind of track along with these drivers as they head through the course to see how they do as they make their way around. So, of course, you see Michael Krueger there. He is that big O-ring right there, ready to get out here. Once he crosses the start-finish line, it'll officially start his first lap. It looks like Cameron Caldwell and Andrew Elias are also on track right now. So as all these drivers begin to navigate their way around this course on their warm-up lap to get ready to set down a qualifying lap, we keep watching Michael Krueger, but Adam, who are you following along for this qualifying lap?
Right now I'm watching Alonso Chicano on his exit lap. Right now he's not a big road course fan. Mentioned top of the show, he's a little bit comfortable in the points now. He's snuck into the top 8, but I think he's going to be a guy to watch out tonight. He's going to be not contending for the win like we mentioned, but I think he's going to be either leading one of those paths in the field or contending, trying to gain some spots and challenging for some points at that stage break we mentioned at lap 17. I think he's going to be in the mix in the top 8 for sure when it comes time for that.
Yeah, it's going to be a matter of seeing that shorter run here in this race, who can kind of stick with it and stay together in that front of the pack. And Chicano is on the fringe of that, I think, because he's not necessarily slow, but he's not been able to keep pace a lot of the time to some of the other guys in the field. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how he can hold if he can hold his own and keep up with these guys that have been setting faster laps in these practice sessions, and see if he can build off of what he's been learning so far from Cameron Caldwell, from Michael Krueger, and see if he can't capitalize on that and try to recover and show that he can be a road course threat too. Michael Krueger makes it through the bus stop here on the backstretch to set his first lap time as he's coming through 3 and 4, oval 3 and 4, should say, which are turns 14 and 15 for the Charlotte Roval, I believe. Heading down into that final front stretch chicane. You see that corner right there, very notable to anybody who's watched NASCAR, anybody who's watched these Charlotte road course races. That is what I like to call dive bomb central. It is where you can send it in there and try to make your move stick. We saw it happen in 2018 in the inaugural race with Jimmy Johnson and Martin Truex Jr. And I mean, I wouldn't count out that happening tonight, maybe, if some of these drivers can get close enough to each other. So you see Cameron Caldwell set the fastest lap there, a 122.8 to Michael Krueger's 123.0. So he is the fastest right now. What are you seeing with some of the other competitors there, Adam?
Watching Ethan Francisco Moreno, he's blinking just a little bit, but he's been pretty solid around the course. Right now holding a pretty line around the bottom of over 1 and 2, and now he's going to head towards the back straightaway chicane.
Number 43 machine, a bit of a controversial ending to the race last week in Michigan. He was involved in a wreck with Tyler Watermole, and he was about 47 laps down at the time of that caution. So many of those drivers, especially Alonso Chicano and David Durand, who were battling for the win at the time, were wondering why he was out there. But, you know, in the end, just something happens and it causes a caution. Of course, they're not going to be too happy when it costs them the win. But, of course, like I said, that opened the door for Ryan Bogey to score his first career victory. That number 21 machine, constantly running those Wood Brothers colors, he was able to get it done, and it was a remarkable finish, might I add, able to pull it off and get it done. So Michael Krueger is done with his lap. Cameron Caldwell finishes his, unable to improve over Krueger. Krueger now with a 122.7, Cameron Caldwell with a 122.8. And we'll get to Alonso Chicano, who's currently on his second lap. Looks like the first lap was invalidated, possibly due to some contact with the wall or anything, and that's going to put him back. And you see Jonathan Parker jumps to the top of the boards at 122.5 for that number 81 on his first lap out.
And that is the fastest lap of the night. The fastest lap in practice was a 122.6, so fastest lap of the day so far.
Bit of a slow exit on the bus stop there for Alonso Chicano on the 25 as he makes his way through oval 3 and 4 to complete his second lap. Hopefully this one can count and can get him a qualifying time. That's what he's looking for here.
Yeah, it looked like he got too much curb there in that first part of the chicane and slid the wheels on the exit. Put the exit speed, but let's see what he posts as he crosses the line. It is a valid lap at 120.9.
Yeah,
Or 124.9, excuse me.
Yeah, 124.9 puts him at 6th fastest. Ethan Fonseca Moreno completing his lap puts him 5th fastest right now with a 123.5. Tristan Maher, however, has just hit the 2nd fastest lap on his first lap out. He is now making his way through the infield section in that number 69 C2 Graphics Radius Racing Chevy Silverado. Of course, you've mentioned he's made a couple starts, I believe, to his career thus far. Not many, though. So we're going to have to see what this 69 truck can do out here tonight as he looks to navigate this road course and keep up the pace like he was throughout these practices. So as he comes through 3 and 4 for the final time. Coming to the backstretch, excuse me, he's coming to the bus stop. Looking to get a number on the starts we've had for this driver of the number 69. This will be his 6th career start, actually. Tonight, it will be his 4th of this 3rd season. His last starts prior to this year were all the way back in Season 1 in the back half of 2021, so it's good to have him back in the series. He scored a 3rd place in one of the Talladega races. And so we'll see what he can do tonight. But right now, first fastest is 122.527. That is the fastest lap of the night. Alex Kerfin now making his way to the front stretch chicane to set his 2nd time lap. It's going to give him a 123.115, just slightly slower than his previous lap. And we're looking to see who else we got on track. Looks like Dalton Kelly is currently out making his 2nd lap with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. I think the only other drivers that are going to have a shot to set a lap time are David Durand and Matthew Stotts, who are out there on track as well. Of course, Dalton Kelly, he has one career win to his name. That was the playoff race at Martinsville last season in exciting fashion, of course, battling with Cameron Caldwell. He looks to try to get his 2nd career win if he can do so tonight. Another thing he's looking for, too, is he's looking to lock into the playoff picture tonight. He's got a really good gap right now, 91 points over the cutoff, but it's definitely going to look to improve and possibly even lock up that playoff spot tonight. As you see him hit the wall right there, he's going to sit 8th fastest, a 124.1. That last lap was his fastest, but that puts him 8th out of 9, so he will be unable to really improve on his qualifying attempt. Matthew Stotts just completed a lap there, but it did not count. It was invalidated. It was a 137. You see his 2nd one's not going to go any better. Sliding there, he's just going to tow it, so Matthew Stotts will not set a qualifying lap, and will instead go to David Durand, the number 24, who will likely be our last qualifier of the night, as he is the only one left on the track with just 57 seconds left. It looks like he's only really going to get this one lap in as we hit 50
I think this is also an exit lap for 24, so this isn't going to be able to count. So I don't think he's going to be able to get another one in, Dawson.
Looking to see here. Looks like actually he is on his actual first lap. His out lap came just in the nick of time then. So as he completes his first lap and what will probably be his only timed lap, he'll cross the stripe. It'll be a 126.316. That'll put him 10th fastest if that was a valid lap, but it doesn't look like it was a valid lap at all. So David Durand not going to be able to post a lap either this time. And so with that, that should all but set up our starting grid for tonight's event. So he'll continue on as we come up to the end of qualifying. He's not going to be able to complete a lap. This is just extra practice at this point because the extra time they give you at the end of these is just a couple seconds, and there it is. He is taken off the grid, and just like that, we are ready to look at our starting grid here presented by JCTV. So looking at it, Starting on the pole is the number 69 of Tristan Maher, followed up by the 81 of Jonathan Parker. Then in row 2 is Michael Krueger and Cameron Caldwell, the two juggernauts here of the road courses. In row 3 is Alex Kerfin and Ethan Fonseca Moreno. Row 4 sees Justin Duran and Dalton Kelly, and then rounding out your top 10 is Alonso Chicano and Austin J. McGill making his In the Pits News Truck Series debut. Adam?
Starting 11th is going to be Brett Bennett alongside Joshua Arnold in the 26. In row number 7 is going to be David Durand and Shane O'Neill. Scott Roush starts 15th with Jeffrey Armistead alongside him in a rare start by that 20 truck. Ryan Bogey, last week's winner, is going to roll off in 17th with Andrew Elias 18th. Josh Carpenter and Matthew Starts are going to round out the grid on the last row of the field in row 10.
And as they round out the field, 20 trucks ready to do battle here tonight. Ready to go to war. It is a Charlotte Roval race. This is the second time these drivers will hit this road course, as we mentioned last season in that hectic, chaotic race. Cameron Caldwell took home the trophy and scored his third career win on a road course. Excuse me for the stumble in there. But he was able to score his third career win on a road course and was pretty much setting himself up as the road course king. Of course, now Michael Krueger has come along and taken at least one of those wins away from him at Watkins Glen earlier this season. He is looking to go for the second one and go for the season sweep tonight. So we'll see if that number 14 can get it done. So we're going to take a look at some of your onboard cameras here for tonight. First and foremost, we're going to take a look at one of our drivers that is going to be running here with our... Actually, it looks like it booted both of our onboard cameras. I don't know why that did that, but it looks like both of our onboards are gone. We had Michael Krueger and Cameron Caldwell onboards ready to go, but it looks like it's booted the both of them. So we do not have an onboard camera, at least for now. But I'll have to see about getting a hold of them and seeing if we can't get a look at it. But instead, what we do have is we have some onboards, at least in the truck. So we're going to take you to those here. The first one we're going to have, of course, is that number 14 of Michael Krueger. He is going to be carrying your Piston Broke Racing onboard camera. And, of course, you cannot have Michael Krueger without having Cameron Caldwell with the C2 Graphics onboard camera. Alonso Chicano, as always, with our Celsius Live Fit camera. And then we'll have Ryan Bogies on board after his win last week. We're going to have an onboard ride with that number 21 machine and see what he can do in this back half of the field. Adam, who's your pick to win tonight?
I was going to pick him after his practice run, but his qualifying run just backed it up. The 69, the pole man, Tristan Maher, he's been very fast the last couple races, like you mentioned, he's been in this season, the 3 he's made. And a third at Talladega was very impressive. I know it's a plate track, but for the times he doesn't get out and racing these trucks, it was still cool to see him out there and back it up here tonight with great runs and practice and quality. I think he'll do a good job in the race.
Well, you're taking the pole sitter. I'm going to take the guy who's starting 4th, Cameron Caldwell. Of course, you can never count him out whenever there's a lot of competition, but I think Cameron Caldwell is good enough to be able to make this work where he will get his second career win, go back-to-back here on this Charlotte Roval. I think Cameron Caldwell gets it done here tonight. So as the pace truck makes its way through 3 and 4, the field will go in to the restart zone. They'll be going through that tri-oval right there like they do in real life. So as you see him head in here, Tristan Maher, Jonathan Parker, the front row. The green flag is going to be displayed, and we are underway here at the Charlotte Roval. A lot of action ready to get through here, as everybody looks to make it through, navigating this road course as tricky as it can be. Looking to see if anybody had any issues, any slip-ups. It looks like so far we are clean. Tristan Maher out to a good lead. Michael Krueger now going to clear for second. How about Alex Kerfin making the move now for third on Jonathan Parker?
Yeah, Parker didn't get off that corner clean. Kerfin got to the inside, and he's going to challenge for that 3rd position going up the hill. Now he's going to go back down, going towards back the oval.
Side by side for 3rd position, Parker and Kerfin battling for it. Right behind them, Cameron Caldwell. Going to follow behind the 81 Jonathan Parker on that bottom lane. It's going to give him the position over Alex Kerfin.
In that side-by-side battle, it was only a couple of corners, but it has just created already a massive gap between second place Michael Krueger and third Jonathan Parker. Cameron Caldwell diving to the backstretch chicane, trying to take that position,
Ooh,
but I
somebody
can't do it.
missed.
Trouble for Kano. It's just Kano who missed it completely.
And somebody
He
else
was
bumping
in the
over the
first
far
pass and
curves,
had to
almost
sit
flipping.
forward.
It's Scott Roush. Shane O'Neill had an issue. Scott Roush just about flipped it over there in the bus stop. Very well might have been at the hands of Brett Bennett. Gonna go back and see what happened. See these two
Everyone
follow
got
each
through
other.
the front side of the back clean, Dawson.
Well, Elias missed the corner as well, but you see Scott Roush right here just about went over. As he missed it, Brett Bennett had missed it as well. And oh, Scott Roush takes out Brett Bennett in the first corner.
Oh, trouble for Cameron Caldwell. He has had big trouble off in the backstretch of the infield, and he's dropped many positions.
Chaos is happening everywhere here on this course, and just like that, Cameron Caldwell now with issues. We'll take a look back and see. They say he gathered it up though, but that's going to cost him
He
some
went
time,
off
of
in turn
course.
4. I think he just cut the grass, but he is back going, but at least 3 positions lost there.
Brett Bennett and Scott Roush have both disconnected after that incident in turn 1. So the two of them are out of this race. 18th and 19th are where they sit right now. Only car behind them is Shane O'Neill in the 91. That was bizarre, to say the least. But okay. Tristan Maher leads. I see a pass happening for 9th. Dalton Kelly gets by Alonso Chicano. Jeffrey Armstead moving ahead of Matthew Stotts for 13th as well. So we got some guys swapping positions here through this road course here. Right now, what I'm looking at, Tristan Maher is losing a little bit of time. Michael Krueger's closing the gap.
Yeah, Caldwell lost 4 positions with his off-road incident, but he has caught the back end of Ethan Francisco Moreno to try and regain those spots. It's a little pack of traffic, beginning with Justin Duran, who looks like he's got some right side damage to his truck already.
And you mentioned Cameron Caldwell all the way back here in 8th, battling for some positions as much as he can. Riding out back here, our Season 1 champion. Of course, 4 road courses he won in a row until Season 3, where Michael Krueger took the crown from him, winning at Watkins Glen earlier this year. So Cameron Caldwell.
Truck off top of the hill, it's Josh Coppano. He is able to get going without a spin. He's continuing. He lost a couple of positions though, Dawson.
Well, I wouldn't have expected Josh Copperdoll to really be contending too hard for this one, and you see a lot of front-end damage there, so a lot of issues for a lot of these drivers. But notice here, too, pass for the lead happened. Michael Krueger has made it to the race lead, passing Tristan Maher. See if we can go back and see what happened. I think this happened heading into the bus stop.
Actually started onto the oval, and they tried to swap it back exiting the chicane. So it started going into the oval turn 1. Krueger had a huge run and dropped to the bottom. Maher didn't challenge him there, but they challenged exiting back straight away.
See right here, got to the bottom, was able to make this pass work. Heading onto the backstretch, a great pass by Michael Krueger. Very patient with it, and he was able to slip by and get that race lead. And Maher, of course, went to challenge in the bus stop, just couldn't quite do it. Got right to his back bumper, but he couldn't make it work. And so that puts that number 14 truck, out in front.
Another spin in the infield. Matthew Stotts has gone around and lost 2 positions. He was in 13th. He's back going though, right ahead of Josh Coppano.
And not good for Stotts. He came into this race 59 points below the cut line. Really needing a good run to try to make it points-wise. But it's not going to pay off here if he winds up like this. Running in the 15th position, not going to be able to gain any points on Andrew Elias. So as he's trying to make his way back to the field, definitely going to be a long road ahead. It's going to pretty much put him near a must-win situation heading into next week at Atlanta.
And we mentioned Michael Krueger got the lead, but Tristan Maher is right back there on the back of the 14 truck. Krueger had extended the lead up a little bit, but Maher's right there, and Jonathan Parker not too far back either.
Yeah, Parker's right there in this picture as well, right there behind them all. I see another pass has been made. Austin J. McGill has made a move to the 5th position on Justin Duran. Of course, Austin J. McGill making his debut in the InThePitsNews Truck Series, though if you are a regular viewer of JCTV, you have heard the name before, you've seen the name before in the Jawb Racing League, among other things. So definitely not a new name, a new face to this channel, but a new face to the league in that number 99 truck.
Yeah, new face to the league and hopped in last minute pretty much. He was a late addition uh, into the server, and he was able to join in last minute pretty much. As we see a patch back here, Cameron Caldwell getting around Justin Durand as he makes his charge back up after his mistake. He's been following McGill up through the field as they both go through the back straightaway chicane. McGill was able to get around Durand and Moreno in the last couple of laps and allow Caldwell a path through pretty much. And you mentioned McGill, not a stranger to JCTV. And in fact, Dawson, just a couple weeks ago in the NAOR series at Suzuka on the short course there, he won in the Xfinity cars there. Very little practice there in those cars that night at that track. And tonight, no practice, no qualifying at all, and he lined up 10th on the grid.
Yeah, with that lining up 10th through that the random draw essentially with the guys that didn't qualify, but still, just starting 10th, and now he's able to capitalize on that track position. He's gotten up to 5th. No issues so far.
Truck in the barrier, Dalton Kelly head on in the Tums Harpoon turn. He has lost a couple of spots now. He was racing with Chicano. He had gotten that spot back with Alonso, and then I think he had just lost it back before getting into the wall in turn 1.
You saw that.
And
replay.
It's not done yet. He's in the wall again in turn 3.
Yeah, Dalton Kelly is not having a good run. But of course, the big thing for him was just to ride it out. He is pretty much to the good. 91 points above the cut line here is this 45. Just having just enough to finish a race here. At worst, he'll finish 17th. So he should be pretty close to locking in points-wise heading into Atlanta. But still wanted a good run tonight. So 12th place as it runs with a damaged truck. Going to be a long road ahead for Dalton Kelly. Back up front, battle for the lead still heating up. Tristan Maher still all over the back bumper of Michael Krueger. Jonathan Parker lurking behind in that 4th position. I was mentioned Austin J. McGill is 5th. Cameron Caldwell is in 6th, and he has closed the gap on McGill as well, looking to try to pounce on him. Watch them navigate this infield portion of the road course. See how hard they get on the brakes right there to make this really tight right-hand corner. Kind of a blind corner almost. You see them hook that left, and then they'll hook another left right back onto the Charlotte Oval. We'll see what Tristan Maher can try to do to try and make a move.
And while you pay close attention to that, of course, Dawson, as I go back and forth between that battle, and the battle for 4th, I think, is going to start heating up. Got Kerfin leading it, but Austin J. McGill and Cameron Caldwell closing in. They aren't that close themselves, but I think once McGill catches the back end of that 30 truck, it's going to allow Cameron to close in and make a move himself, and might be a 3-truck battle there for that 4th position here.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be close for sure. To see what happens for these guys back in the back, a little bit further back. I mentioned, the battle for the leads, still right there with each other. But seeing a battle like this heating up as well for positions, it's always something to watch at these road courses because you never know what's going to happen. Because these guys can force each other to make a mistake that could end their race, or a mistake that could lead them to get retaliated later on, like we saw last season. At this exact same track. But right now, Tristan Maher is still trailing Michael Krueger for this race lead. See here, heading on to the oval section in the middle of the stage here. So we'll cross the halfway point this lap. Michael Krueger managing just that slight lead. Maher is getting a better laps here in than Krueger. As you see, he's right there on his back bumper, trying not to get into him and trying to stay off of him. But you see that the field, everybody making their way around the track. But right now, it's Michael Krueger. He's going to lead the field here. Coming up on lap 9, we are only halfway through stage 1, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
As a Formula One world champion, I strive to win everything.
And as a 3-time NASCAR champ, I never give up.
I should warn you, I am a triathlete.
Let's do this. Mobil One's advanced technology gives our engines the speed they need to win.
Right.
Works on my bike legs, too. Jensen, 4 letters, 3-time NASCAR champ. That oil made my legs real fast. Somebody get this guy a hanky?
A broken heart, I can't help you. Rocket science, don't know what to tell you. I may not know how to get to the moon, but when I wanna fly, my crew knows what to do. Crank around the wheel in the left rear. You're only turning 9,000, need another gear. Never know how. Never know
Dad, where'd you get that?
Oh, you won't believe what just happened.
Don't tell me you got the last Diet Dew.
Yeah.
I love the taste of Diet Dew. What do you want for it? Deal.
Diet Mountain Dew. Yeah, it tastes that good.
Hey, Hotshot. Meter's running.
Kyle Busch, welcome to Menards. What can I help you with today?
Well, I've got my shopping list right here. I need some green treated lumber. I need a brown Mastercraft door. I need red Clearview cabinets and some blue Dutch Boy paint.
Those are M&Ms.
And?
At Menards, we carry the world's best selection of home improvement products to help you complete your next project.
You've got more of these, right?
It's all gonna fit in your car?
I got a trunk.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey man, you cut me off back there. What you gonna do about it? Oh man.
Can you feel it? The taste of Coca-Cola. When the race
All right, fine. Are we good? We're good.
We are only 10 laps into this race, but the action is still heating up here on JCTV as Michael Krueger leads the field. He gets the wall, though, on the exit of the chicane. Is going to open the door. Tristan Maher now going to make the move to the outside peak that it couldn't quite get there. And now we have a battle for the lead heating up once more.
Yeah, just a little hot though, exiting turn 17 for Kruger going on the front straightaway. He's going to be wide here through 3, going into the 4, allowing Maher to get a little bit better run here going on in this straightaway. Let's see if he can make a move. I don't think he can quite do it. He's made his nose peak in this corner the last couple laps, Dawson, going up the hill. Can't do anything yet.
Kruger is struggling. He is slower than Maher is the past couple laps, and that's only allowing Jonathan Parker to close the gap as well, who is running down this top 2 as these laps continue on here towards the end of the stage. Kruger is all over the place right now as Tristan Maher looks to close up on him.
He's got the nose going into the backstretch chicane, going into the bus stop. He's on the inside, Tristan Maher. A little contact. Kruger's going to slide over the rumble strips.
Kruger is going to miss the bus stop. It's going to cost him to slow up and give up the time. But look what that's done. That's opened the door for Jonathan Parker to put his nose into this battle. Now the 81 is in contention for it. Oh, Kruger! Parker, contact! Parker over the rumble strips. That's going to slow both of them up and allow Maher to run away with this race lead.
And Austin J. McGill is right there closing up on this battle now for third. He is only about 4 or 5 truck lengths behind Jonathan Parker.
Both Kruger and Parker lead the league in stage wins this season with 3. But the way it looks right now, neither of them are going to get to 4 tonight after that. But you see that's also allowed Austin J. McGill to close up in this battle. He's been able to run away from Cameron Caldwell. And he is going to put himself in contention for this battle as Tristan Maher continues to lead the field. Michael Krueger to second. Definitely struggling now is that number 14 truck.
Yeah, and you mentioned Cameron Caldwell. He has gotten that 5th position past Alex Coffin, who was slid back to 6th, and he is getting challenged now by Ethan Fonseca Moreno for that position.
We're looking to get away from that 81 and that number 99 of Parker and McGill. You know, Tristan Maher just looking to set some good enough laps to get to the end of this stage. At the stripe here, it will be 5 to go for the conclusion of this stage. And Maher runs a little wide there in that corner, but he's able to gather it back up. You see Joshua Arnold and Josh Copperdoll are both on pit road. Neither have left the sim, but they have had some extensive stays on pit road. Copperdoll on pit road for about 6 minutes, and Arnold has been on it for about 5. So I can guarantee some damage has put them out of contention. I see another slower truck. It looks like Jeffrey Armistead is kind of slow here. Might have just had a bad corner or a bad bus stop or had to give it up there because he looks pretty clean. So Armistead continues on in 11th place. His teammate Andrew Elias scored 10th. And looking throughout the field here as well, some of the other names to highlight. Matthew Stotts is 13th. He is 59 points out of that final spot that Elias holds. So that's definitely going to shake things up. That's not going to shake things up, I should say. It's going to help expand that to where it pretty much puts Stotts in a must-win situation come next weekend at Atlanta. Tristan Maher leading the way, though, is going to be good for all of those playoff drivers because if Maher can win this, that will pretty much eliminate the chance for 2 wildcards with 2 wins to make it into the playoffs and to bump any of them out. So that'll all but lock up their spots into the championship battle that will start after the conclusion of next week's race. Words are hard to say, Adam.
Battle for 3rd place, is really spicy though. Austin J. McGill crossed over Michael Krueger through the front straightaway chicane, and now here comes Cameron Caldwell, He's trying to sneak through past that 14, who has now lost 3 positions in 1 lap after Jonathan Parker got by a couple moments ago.
Side by side, the 2 that have been deemed the road course kings. They are battling, though, for this 4th position. As you see up ahead, it's Maher, Parker, and McGill as the top 3. Kruger now on the inside. Caldwell trying to make the outside lane work. He's going to run way wide. Into the grass goes Cameron Caldwell.
And a little bit into the barrier, maybe. He's going to keep it going.
But another mistake.
Lose tons of time. Absolutely. He was going to take that position away from Kruger, it looked like, and Kruger challenged him for it, rightly so, and it just dragged the 2 back so much further, and Caldwell over his head a little bit in that corner and off the track. That's so easy to do right there, Dawson, in the way the hill is. You lose the angle of the corner and you lose the sight so easily there.
You see here, though, Alex Kerfin is closing the gap now on the 14 of Michael Krueger with Ethan Fonseca Moreno in tow. They're going to see if they can make up some extra spots. Of course, the battle for these playoff points, I should say, at the conclusion of the stage is coming in about 3 laps from now, I believe. As they cross the stripe of time, indeed it is. So right now, Maher is going to hold the stage win in his hands right now. He's 4 seconds ahead of Jonathan Parker. Austin J. McGill is 3rd. Michael Krueger is back to 4th. Alex Kerfin is 5th. Ethan Fonseca Moreno 6th. Justin Duran 7th. And Alonso Chicano in that final spot as Cameron Caldwell pulls it down pit road. He's going to forego the stage points and just try to go for some strategy to go for the win. Obviously, he's not racing for anything but wins anymore this season, giving up his playoff eligibility because he won't be able to make it to some of these championship playoff races. So what is there to lose pitting here before the stage?
Absolutely nothing, as long as he can stay on the lead lap, and even then so, as long as he's the lucky dog. He would have to start at the tail there if that's the case, which would not be the best case scenario, but it would be an option. I don't think he's going to lose quite a lap here yet.
We mentioned as well during the practice, we were talking about David Durand, one of the most comfortable guys coming into this race because he has got 2 wins on the season. He's locked into the playoffs. This race right now, I mean, he's just seeing if he can get some extra points up over on anybody else to try and put himself in contention, you know, for this championship in a better way than he is right now. But riding around in 14th position, the leader's right behind him, Tristan Maher is. He might be able to stay on the lead lap coming to the stage. So no issues for him whatsoever. So we'll just have to see how this all plays out for the rest of this race. But you see there coming through the infield section, 2 laps to go here in the stage. Jonathan Parker is now 5 seconds back of the race lead. But Austin J. McGill is going to put some pressure on him. And if there's anybody that's rooting this 99 truck on, it is Michael Krueger in the 14 right behind him. He definitely wants Parker to not keep gaining points on him heading into this penultimate race at Atlanta.
Another truck a little bit comfortable with the way points have shaken up with his win last weekend. Ryan Bogey, he has gone down a lap just a moment ago to the race leader, and he has pulled pulled off the racetrack to let all the lead lap trucks go through. He's had a little bit extra night going off, of course, just a little bit. Road courses aren't his strong suit, but as we saw when he made his start at Watkins Glen, just an 18th place finish there, but he's just going to ride tonight and collect more points.
You mentioned that win last week, an improbable win, to say the least, and one of the biggest upsets in the league, and it came as no shocker. He runs a Wood Brothers scheme to do so. But up ahead, a pass has been made for the 5th position, as you see Bogey trying to make that back to chicane. Ethan Fonseca Moreno has made the move on Alex Kerfin, and now looks to set his sights on Michael Krueger as we cross the stripe. This time it will be the last lap of the stage, as Krueger now looks to have to hold off a hard-charging Ethan Fonseca
Alonso
Moreno.
Chicano spins from the last position in points.
He's got a 12-second gap to Andrew Elias, so he can spin out there and not have to worry too much, but definitely not something he wants to do again. He doesn't want to replicate that mistake, as he holds a 9-second lead over that 9th place position, Andrew Elias. So he can afford that spin and not have to worry. He just won't be able to gain any more points than he has. So coming out of the infield road course section is our race leader, Tristan Maher. Up ahead is David Durand, currently 14th in the running orders. We'll have to see if Durand can just hang on to this spot. It looks like he's very likely in a position to hang on and stay on the lead lap. Looking to see if there's anything going on here. The only thing I can see is this battle heating up for this 4th position. But coming through this backstretch chicane on the bus stop, and coming through 3 and 4 in the oval, Tristan Maher through the front stretch chicane. He is going to score the stage 1 victory. Jonathan Parker is going to bring it home second. Austin J. McGill to 3rd. Michael Krueger going to try to hold off Ethan Fonseca Moreno for this final corner, and he will do so. Alex Kerfin will get 6th. Looking back for 7th place, there's Justin Durand. A very quiet 7th place run for that 5 machine, and then rounding out that top 8, here comes Alonso Chicano, navigating his way through the front stretch chicane, and when he crosses the stripe, we will see the first and only caution of this race. And so with that, Tristan Maher is your stage winner. There's David Durand right ahead of him, able to stay on the lead lap. Ryan Bogey will be your free pass. It looks like everybody else in the field is either called in a night or is Joshua Coppernall and is on pit road, which I would assume that number 42 has left the cockpit of that truck and has gone up to the spotter stand for his teammate Michael Krueger. So Tristan Maher scores the stage win of the 98 Suicide Crisis Lifeline 150 presented by Grace the Cat. We'll see if we can get a word in with him as he works his way through the field to catch up to the pace car. I believe they might take their pit stops this time, but we'll wait and see if they do. If not, looks like we're just going to navigate around the course. So we're going to see if we can get a word in here real quick with our stage winner. Hey Tristan, this is the boys who've been in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, well, you were able to make it work there. A tense battle between you and Michael Krueger, but in the end, you were able to stay cool, and you wound up with the stage win. What was that like, able to race up there with Krueger and Parker and come out on top?
Well, my goal in the beginning of the race was just kind of, get through turn one clean, and then, Krueger got by me, and my goal was just kind of push him the whole time because I was kind of saving my stuff a little bit. So I was kind of pushing, kind of trying to put some pressure on him and make him burn his stuff up, and I think it worked fairly well. I got in a little hot to the bus stop, so my bad if he got a slowdown for avoiding me. And then I kind of lucked out because him and Parker got into it and started battling. And, just kind of smooth sailing, trying to keep it between the lines from there.
Well, you come into this race, obviously this is only your 6th career start here in the InThePitsNews Truck Series. Your first career stage win. And you kind of throw things for a loop now because now you've gotten that position to where some of these guys that really needed these points or didn't need someone else to take these points, you were able to get a hold of those points and take them off the table. So what are your plans here? The rest of this race, obviously, you're racing for a win. But is anybody in your ear maybe telling you to kind of lay back a little bit for them?
No, nobody so far. I'm really actually trying to become, a surprise winner, kind of throw a wrench in people's plans. Nobody has discussed anything with me as of yet, so I'm trophy hunting, racing for a win.
Alrighty, well, we hope to talk to you later, and maybe you'll wind up with that trophy in victory lane. Tristan Maher, your stage winner here at the Charlotte Roval.
Thanks, guys.
And with that stage win, I noticed we have another fellow name that many people recognize here in the booth with us. It is the one and only Joshua Coppernoll. Josh, what happened?
They put me on a road course, Dawson. That's what happened. I hate these kind of. I love watching these kind of races. I hate driving them. I'm not a road course driver at all, and it showed.
Yeah, I was about to say, it definitely shows because you were sitting on pit road, scored 17th. 11 laps down, so obviously you've retired semi-early in this race with no looks at going back. So what was it like out there, at least for those few laps you were out there? How did the truck feel? How did the track feel? And what did you get the guide of when you were watching these other drivers going at it?
Well, Dawson, I'll tell you one thing. The track temp is hot. It is 100 degrees out there. You really got to take care of your tires because if you don't, you'll end up like me, just sliding everywhere. I mean, it was hard. I got to the point where I was spinning in places I didn't know was possible to spin at, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to take the chance to ruin somebody else's race. I knew the leaders, actually Mikey, was coming pretty quickly, and I was just like, I don't want to take the chance to ruin him, Tristan, Parker. I don't want to ruin those guys. So I just made the decision to park it. Probably the best thing I could do, and I'm spotting Mikey. I'm giving him advice here, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, unfortunately, this is my first DNF here in the ITPN Truck Series.
First DNF, and unfortunately as well, will not be a top 10 yet again here. So obviously, you're wanting to work with your teammate and help Michael Krueger get to the win. So we'll let you get back with them. But hey, maybe next week in Atlanta we can talk to you in victory lane.
That's the goal, Dawson. I hope so. We're going to give it all we got. But, yeah, JCTV, thank you guys so much. Gotta give that out there. And 988 Suicide Crisis Lifeline. There's hope. Don't have to go out in a bad way. So, thank you guys, and hopefully the rest of this race is good for the broadcast fans at home.
All right, Josh. Good luck out there, and maybe get Mikey to a win here tonight.
Let's see.
Of course, that is the JCTV namesake, Joshua Coppernoll. Decided to pop in here under this caution break. So, Adam, the stage is complete. What is your takeaway out of how that first 17 laps was?
I was surprised we saw as well cordial racing we saw at the front of the field. I'm surprised we didn't see get as much physical as we usually see here on the road course races. Obviously, a long way to go, but I think it's going to get that way here at the end of the race. We got some new names up front with some different strategies, of course. Obviously, Maher's up there in third, so he's going to be able to slice up through this field here and challenge, I think, pretty well. As he just said, he's just going for wins. So it's going to be fun here. Actually, he's going to be second as Don Kelly is going to duck onto pit road here. But it is still going to be fun to see, and I think it's going to be fun to see the 99 Austin J. McGill. He's got now 17 laps of practice underneath him. Hey, let's see what he can do.
So you see as the field, no juice cone for this week, obviously. They just kind of go the way it tells them to go, so inside, outside, bouncing around. Cameron Caldwell, of course, your race leader, like we mentioned, he made that pit stop before the stage to try and jump back out to the front, so he now holds the lead in tonight's race. So we'll have to see what that number 12 can do. So we take you to our drone cam presented by MardonTech.com, of course. For all your PC needs and sim racing needs, check out MardonTech.com. Brian Haynes, obviously always great to work with. I love working with him. Of course, everything you see running right now is running on a Mardon PC. So shout out to him for everything he does for us as a whole here on JCTV. But we see here Cameron Caldwell gets back out front. Tristan Maher going to start second to his outside. Jonathan Parker there in third. Austin J. McGill fourth. Michael Krueger fifth. Then Ethan Fonseca Moreno, Justin Duran, Alex Kerfin, Alonso Chicano, David Durand is how the field shakes out. So we'll kind of stay with this drone cam here, and we'll get you to this restart. It's going to be chaotic. Let's say that for sure. As we follow along here, this beautiful road course here in the infield of the Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. You look up there in the grandstands. See all the fake fans waving. I was one of those real fans last year. It's a very fun track to go to, and if you've never been to a Charlotte Roval race, I implore you to go to one because it is a blast. So the outside lane, of course, takes that route there through the bus stop. The leaders make their way around to make it a kind of clean shot through that bus stop so where no one makes any contact, has any issues coming through it. We've got 15 trucks on the track, 15 trucks on the lead lap. Your 5 DNFs from this race: Josh Arnold, Josh Coppernell, Brett Bennett, Scott Roush, Shane O'Neill. They will be unable to finish this race, but right now we're focused on getting you through to the end of this one. See here, doing my math, it's going to be about 45 laps to go when we get the green flag. They go through the tri-oval here. They don't go through the chicane as they come to the Geico restart zone. Cameron Caldwell is going to lead the field back to green here at Charlotte. Take a look at the turn one camera. Watch the field fly in here. Try to sort their way out here. Yeah, Adam, go ahead.
Everyone clean through 1 and 2 as they dive through turn 3. Tristan Maher slots into third. Contact between McGill and Kruger. That's the battle for fourth as they go onto this straightaway in the infield. Oh, Kuffin over the bumps trying to get towards the Moreno. Here comes Chicano to his outside through the downhill section of this course.
As you see them enter into NASCAR 1 and 2. They start to get kind of organized back out, single file here onto
McGill, excuse me, Dawson, almost went onto the apron there trying to get underneath Kruger, and he's going to make a huge slam into the back straightaway chicane, taking that spot.
As they filter out into oval 3 and 4. Cameron Caldwell, Jonathan Parker, Tristan Maher, the top 3. They're the ones that are going to lead the way here heading into this final front stretch chicane. Maher right there on Parker's bumper. You see how tight the racing gets as everybody's trying for any spot they can get and any chance they have. And that is a lap there at Charlotte Roval. With those beautiful corner cameras set up there on this track. You see Maher trying to set up the pass on Jonathan Parker if he can. Cameron Caldwell continues to lead the way. In second place here, still under fire. The top three, you throw them under a blanket right now.
Meanwhile, we had a spin on the last lap, tail end of the field. Ryan Bogey in the back straight of chicane, the free pass from last time, the sage rake, spun there, and he's able to get back going again, but much time lost, and he is going to lose a lap here shortly to the leaders once again, unfortunately, if he continues to run. Just the way things get spread out here, unfortunately.
I noticed Dalton Kelly also, when he pulled off on pit road for that stage, he has not pulled out. He's stayed there. So I don't anticipate him to return to the track either. He is still on pit road. So right now we got 14 trucks on track battling for positions. As Cameron Caldwell leads, Jonathan Parker second, Tristan Maher third. Austin J. McGill is fourth, and solidly in fourth, I should say, as Michael Krueger has dropped back to him a little bit. But this battle is still intense for this third position. See, McGill has closed the gap on it now just a little bit as well. Slight bobble out of Maher there on the exit at turn 4. Still right there in it with Parker and Caldwell. See the top 4 right ahead of Michael Krueger, all right there together. Bus stop, right along with his 14 as he heads down into this backstretch chicane. Cameron Caldwell trying to defend from Jonathan Parker, who's closed up just a little bit. These top 4 right now, all nose to tail pretty much. It's Austin J. McGill has been able to close this gap as well. I see Matthew Stotts had an issue, blinked in and out there. It looked like for a second, it looked like he came to pit road, but just having a bit of a connection issue is that number 17 machine, who's right behind Andrew Elias. Of course, going into this race, he's 59 points back on that number 44, but right now, going to lose a point in total to him. So it's really not going to be a good day for Stotts in terms of gaining points on that cut line.
Tristan Maher with an excellent run off the bus stop. He's going to get to the inside of Jonathan Parker through speedways 3 and 4, and he's easily going to clear the 81 truck going into turn 16.
He'll pass the 81 of Parker. Now he'll set his sights on Cameron Caldwell. Looks like Parker might have struggled a little bit there on exit as well, as now Austin J. McGill is peeking to the inside. Jonathan Parker, nothing short of a historic season for this young man here in the number 81 machine. You want to talk about dominance. He's shown nothing but it. 4 wins so far in the season. The points leader heading into this event over Michael Krueger. And, you know, just breaking a record here that we've not seen anyone else get close to yet. As a rookie, 4 career wins, all of them coming this season here, which is the most wins by a single driver in a season. Definitely a championship favorite for sure. For anybody, you know, who's watching on, you know, he is the guy to keep your eye on that is going to be battling for this championship at season's end in Kansas.
Yeah, absolutely. And tonight's performance is just an example of that. Just the versatility of the tracks he's good on, Dawson. He's good everywhere we go, and he says he's not good on road courses. And that's because he's not up there leading like he thinks he should be, or like he thinks he could be. With a little bit more practice, a little bit more time, he's not as fast as Caldwell, Michael Krueger is on a weekly basis. And right behind him, Austin J. McGill just caught the wall going in between 1 and 2. So he's going to get a little bit less pressure on him. I say that, but McGill not losing much pace, diving back into 3 and 4.
And look who he's bringing along, Michael Krueger and Ethan Fonseca Moreno. Krueger with a little bobble there, able to recover. He stumbles and he gets it back under him, but Ethan Fonseca Moreno was ready to pounce on him as he did. Couldn't quite get there, so now Krueger's going to maintain this 5th spot, but they're going to lose time to McGill, and that's going to give a little bit more breathing room to these two, as Krueger might have got the wall there on the straightaway there. Yeah, got the wall again, so another issue for Michael Krueger, going to push him further back, but up front it's Cameron Caldwell with Tristan Maher tailing him as they head into the backstretch chicane through the bus stop.
Now we're really going to separate this top 5, the top 4, excuse me, for the first time in this stage, and now it's going to be a one-on-one battle here for this race lead. Just 4/10 of a second separate these two right now, going to turn 1, now turn 2, while Parker 2.5 seconds back and McGill 3.5 back.
McGill right there in that 4th spot, trying to catch Parker. But Parker now's got himself a nice little island where he can kind of get to work on knocking down some lap times. But someone else who's knocking down some lap times is Tristan Maher, who is getting faster and faster than Caldwell. 0.2 faster that time, but looking to try to improve some more and get right up on that number 12 machine.
Yeah, he was faster that last lap by about 0.2 of a second, and he trimmed the margin of the lead in half last time by. To go through the bus stop on the back straightaway, see him close right there on the exit side of that portion, and as they go through Speedway 3 and 4, just trying to close in through the draft and make a charge in 16 and 17 and make maybe something on the front stretch, Dawson.
Yeah, and we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, this is his 6th career start. And he is doing an impeccable job of driving here, putting himself up there with the heavyweight, I say, of the road courses in Cameron Caldwell. Right there on his back bumper, got him over the turtles and trying to make a move here. Couldn't quite capitalize, could Maher. So he's going to have to stay right in line behind Caldwell if he can. But that 12 machine continues to lead here. As we hit lap 29, it'll be lap 30 next time by. A battle for the 8th position between Chicano and Duran, which Chicano actually is spun out here. In turn number 2, the 25 truck is around. He's able to get it back going. Going to lose that spot to Durand, but you know, from bad to worse for Chicano.
Yeah, he just lost it actually in turn 1. Going through turn 2, the rear was not underneath him, and then he just collided with the wall with the front end of that truck.
It's a pretty good hit there for that 25. He's able to gather it back up and recover. Now he's got into reliance on his back bumper to battle for that position. Looking up front, though, Tristan Maher still right there, trying to get a better exit on the bus stop than Cameron Caldwell. He's got a good run, though. Caldwell leads at lap number 30. Maher still trailing behind here in 2nd. Parker 3rd. McGill, though, putting pressure on for this third position as that 99 has closed the gap again. Ooh, Maher right there on the back bumper of Caldwell. I was going to say, I looked away for a second, come back up to it, and Maher is all over Chicano's tailgate.
Yeah, Caldwell ran a faster lap than than Maher did last time by, but Caldwell a little bit slower there on the infield portion of the lap, relatively speaking to Tristan Maher, who is all over the back of that 12 now. Or at least was through the infield part of the track. A little bit spread out. He was through the oval, now through the bus stop. Let's see what the 69 truck can do on the 12. Not as much as we saw through the other end of the speedway.
Meanwhile, the pass was made for the third position. Austin J. McGill has made the pass on Jonathan Parker. So now move him up to position 3 and drop Parker another spot.
And all these guys are stacked up right here. You got McGill, Parker. Oh, McGill's gonna miss 17 completely, in more trouble for Kruger. He got on the wall, I think.
He missed that bust. He missed the chicane there, checking up because he saw McGill come up the track. McGill, though, side by side with Parker, heading to 2.
And right behind them, they're side by side with Kruger and Moreno. McGill is going to lose that position to Parker, while they still side by side, the 43 and the 14. Kruger with the advantage going into turn 5. He's going to take from the 43. No, Moreno dives back in.
Moreno makes the pass for 5th. What a pass by Ethan Moreno as he starts to blink in and out, though. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. You see McGill gets the wall right there behind Parker, so Parker's going to maintain this third position through a wacky set of events over the past couple laps there. But right now, still up front, it's a battle for the race lead. McGill's still right there on Jonathan Parker's back bumper.
Yeah, now Alex Coffin, he has entered the fight between Kruger and Moreno. A little bit spread out now on the oval, but he was making a hard charge through the bus stop last time by.
Right now, we are just about a lap shy of the halfway point. I see Alonso Chicano is slow again. Might have had issues here in the bus stop. Oh, wow, completely missing the bus stop there. Able to keep it off the wall. And Elias missing as well.
Positions. He has lost 2 positions to this lap. And yeah, big time trouble you mentioned there. Wow.
So from bad to worse for the washed king Alonso Chicano, our season 2 defending champion, just not having a good season at all.
And tonight was not the night he expected for that to turn. 1 win this season. I think he's looking forward to a Speedway star next week. You know he's good at the Speedways, and I think he's just ready for a new reset at the playoff. At the race.
Yeah, and it's possible, too. He could have been just saving it all up for this playoff push here after Atlanta. That 5-race stretch is really good at some of those tracks coming up. Defending winner at Kansas included. So definitely looking forward to the playoffs is Alonso Chicano, as you see Caldwell and Maher go off track right there through the grass. As they run down through here, we are going to hit the halfway point, and with that, we're going to take you on a quick side-by-side break. Cameron Caldwell continues to lead Tristan Maher, Jonathan Parker, Austin J. McGill, and Ethan Fonseca Moreno. As we continue on here at the Charlotte Roval for the 988 Suicide Hotline, presented by Grace the Cat at the Charlotte Roval, you're watching JCTV.
Hey, track bar's broke and you keep jumping out of gear. What do you want to do?
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Oh, can you feel it? Can you feel it? Oh, Coca-Cola.
go.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
50 laps to go, and here comes Casey Kane in for a pit. Wow, that was fast. Boy, I want to see that again in slow motion, Doug.
Okay, that was something I did not see the first time, Pete.
Boy, you catch a lot more detail when you slow things down.
I guess so.
Those look good.
Yeah. Oh, Casey's always got time for arm wrestling.
Amazing.
Yes, she is, Pete.
Boy, you blink an eye and you miss all that.
Impressive. Casey Kane's always impressive.
Everyone knows that old NASCAR legend about how drivers, go during a race. So naturally, we were curious.
Kevin, no bathroom break?
Nope, all set.
Hey, Kevin.
What's going on? Excuse me. I mean, those fire suits are made of high-tech fabric.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Looking at the rain.
Uh-huh. You guys go on, I'll catch up.
Mahindra's the official tractor of tough, right, Chase?
Yep, that's right, Tony.
This baby's got 4,000 pounds of front-end lift capacity, right?
It sure does.
So who's tougher, kid? Me or you?
You are, Tony. Can you put me down now?
What? You want to go higher? Okay.
I said down, you old goat.
I am the goat.
Mahindra, the official tractor of tough and Stewart Haas Racing.
Come on, Tony, put me down.
Fly the blimp, too much hot air. Race announcer, same thing there. Wouldn't get a word in with you-know-who. Just get down on the track and do what you do. Slide down in my seat, pull the belts tight. Get up on the wheel and let the dust fly. Never know how. Never know how.
Don't be conventional.
Kevin Harvick?
Be exceptional. Upgrade to Mobil 1 synthetic motor oil. It helps your engine last over 250,000 miles.
Wow. What's he doing?
Raving.
He's exceptional.
So is Mobil 1. Yes.
Is this good?
I do not know.
Get 250,000 miles of protection. Upgrade to Mobil 1.
At Domino's, you can carry out 3-topping pizzas for just $7.99 each. And with Domino's Carside Delivery, you can conveniently stay in your car while you do it. Just pull up, check in online, and we'll quickly bring your food to you.
Thank you.
So you don't have to get out to get carry out. Like Denny here.
Hey, Hamlin. I like your PJs.
PJs? Stay in the driver's seat with Domino's Carside Delivery.
Yeah, you.
Danica, you had a rough run on the last lap there. How do you adjust?
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Oh. You're gonna shine. Oh, Coca-Cola.
What was the question again?
I honestly don't remember.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
We welcome you back here to the Charlotte Roval, where we continue on with the second to last race before we begin the playoffs here in the InThePitsNews Truck Series. Cameron Caldwell continues to lead the field here. And it's no shocker that he is out front, of course, one of the road course kings here in this series. He continues this stretch right now, holding still a 6/10 second lead over teammate Tristan Maher in the 69. After that, it's just a mess for everybody else back in the background.
Yeah, Jonathan Parker in third. He's got Ethan Moreno right behind him. I know they run a lot of paint schemes a lot similar, but I think Moreno is getting tired of running right behind this 81, holding him up just a little bit. He seems to be just a little bit faster because he can't shake Michael Krueger either. They've almost had some run-ins the last couple laps, Dawson.
Yeah, they have been with each other since the drop of the green flag here on this second part of the race. You know, they've been right next to each other this whole time. They have not been able to get away from each other. So they've definitely been running right there with each other. And Jonathan Parker hasn't really been able to escape it either. You know, once they make that mistake, they'd be able to recover. And you see Parker a little loose there. Bobbles a little bit, able to recover though. That might open the door for Ethan Fonseca Moreno and Michael Krueger to capitalize as they head through this corner right here, heading uphill. See Krueger gonna peek in there. Moreno got a little loose as well. Krueger backs off of it. Thought better of it. And you'll see here too, Austin J. McGill, he was running in the 4th position when we went to break. He had an issue through the bus stop a couple laps ago that put him all the way back here in the 6th position. So with that, that has moved that 99 back, but he's still right there with these other 3 as they continue to battle for 3rd through 6th.
Yeah, he was exiting the bus stop. You mentioned Austin McGill did, and he just lit the tires up, and we've heard the drivers say how hot the tires are today. At this track, it's such a very slicky racetrack right now, and you don't want to make the tires angry, and that's what he did. And when he did, Moreno and Kruger were right there, and they were able to pounce. And when they did, McGill had to sit back and wait for the tires to cool back a couple laps. And now he's there, ready again, ready to pounce on these guys.
I saw Justin Duran had struggles through the infield there, running 8th place right now. Like I said, quietly in the top 10 here because he's not been, you know, much of note here. You know, he's currently working his way through turn 1. I said 8th place run, not too bad, especially with the point situation he's in, trying to stay ahead of brother David. One career win, of course, coming earlier this season at Kentucky. I was a part of that race, so I was able to watch that happen right up ahead of me. That was a fun time. Always cool to see a guy get his first career win. We saw that with Justin Durand earlier this season. But, of course, brother David, he's got 2 wins on him, and he's going to keep holding that over his head. You see Maher sliding through the bus stop right behind Caldwell. That's going to allow Caldwell to get a little bit further ahead and get a little more breathing room between himself and 2nd place.
Yeah, this is the biggest lead he's had, I think, since the stage break, Dawson. So a little bit, no pressure there on Maher. How much do you think the 3 laps he's had on those tires longer compared to everyone else is going to matter here at the end of the stint?
Not enough.
Yeah, that's very apparent.
Yeah, it's not going to mean too much in the long term here because I do believe they will have to make one more stop. I don't think they can make it to the end as they run right now. So that is yet to be seen. But of course, there's a lot of times when I'm wrong, and this could be one of the times where I am wrong. So we'll have to see. But right now, Parker is 3rd, Moreno 4th, Kruger 5th, and McGill 6th. They're all chasing race leader Cameron Caldwell and Tristan Maher, who has gained back that time that he lost there, sliding the bus stop. Maher, I've noticed, has been better through the infield section of the road course, whereas Caldwell has been able to improve on the entirety of that oval section. All the way from when they exit back onto oval turn 1, all the way through when they go back into the infield section. He's had that advantage over Maher, and Maher's sliding again through the bus stop, but he's able to maintain speed a little bit that time. Might have got the wall. But Caldwell has been struggling through the infield section where Maher struggles on that backstretch chicane. Across the stripe, 27 laps to go here at the Charlotte Roval.
And Maher is able to close in the infield, like you mentioned, and lead closing up very much in each corner as they go through the infield. And you see the 69 just carve that gap. I'm surprised to see really that after we saw Caldwell extend that gap a little bit a couple laps ago.
Elias had trouble a little bit further back in the field. Got passed by David Durand. He is scored in the 12th position. Of course, he is in that battle with Matthew Stotts for the final playoff spot. He came into this race 59 points to the good. It looks like he is pulling to pit road. Unsure if this is a pull to pit road to start the strategy or if this is a pull to pit road to go ahead and call it a night. Of course, he is a fan of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they play, of course, tonight in the playoffs, playing against the San Diego Chargers. So we'll see if this is just a pit stop or if it's a call tonight, but we'll see there in due time. But you see, Cameron Caldwell gets out to about a 1-second lead here over Tristan Maher. But again, we go back to this battle. Still, these 4 trucks right here, 3rd through 6th, are still right there, ducks in a row pretty much, as they continue to navigate this road course.
Back to Andrew Elias, he is out and away, leaving pit road, so it is just going to be regular pit stop service. He slid his pit box there, had to back up a little bit, so a slow pit stop already, but it was not the best of performance tonight with that issue of just a moment ago on lap hitting in. So good to see him back out there and turning the rest of the laps here tonight, hopefully. He is 1 lap though behind the leaders. He just gotten lapped though when he came down and exited.
Ryan Bogey on pit road. Alonso Chicano is going to pull down pit road as well, so very well may see the cycle begin here. I'm wondering if this is the opening of the window to where they can make it to the end of the race, or if these guys are just pitting here and just pitting at the time to just pitting now to get it over with. That is to be seen, but of course Chicano on pit road. Ryan Bogey as well is on pit road, so those 2 drivers have made their way on to pit road. We'll see how they cycle back out as these drivers continue to battle for position. Austin J. McGill tried to make the move on Michael Krueger, couldn't quite get there. It's going to cost him a little bit of time. See Alonso Chicano rolling away, but a little bit in the background. Cameron Caldwell entering turn 1 now on lap 42. As he comes through turns 1 and 2, there's Chicano coming off of pit lane ahead of the race leaders. To look to maintain that lead lap position at least, just in case something happens and he can pick up some spots if any of these drivers end up wrecking out of this race. And you see there, Maher is back to about a 0.3 of a second gap. Look at the run he got out of the infield section. He's right back there with Caldwell. Just immaculate the way he's able to gain up on that 12 machine. I see another slow truck. It is Matthew Stotts. He pulls it to pit road as well. But right now, Maher all over the back bumper of Cameron Caldwell, trying to go for the race lead.
Much better time through the bus stop there for Caldwell compared to his previous laps. In comparison to that 69 truck. Very curious to see what Chicano is going to do when they lap him. Going to see if that's going to be when he decides to duck onto pit road, if they go by pit opening when they get to him, Dawson, or if he's just going to have to pull to the apron or something. Going to be tricky to navigate if it's in the infield here, of course.
Yeah, for sure. If they get to Chicano and they're able to try to lap him, it's going to be dangerous for both drivers to try to navigate by him, because he is still going to try to drive with them. He's not going to just give up, roll over, and give it up to him.
Ooh. Meanwhile, Ethan Moreno has gone around Jonathan Parker, and just behind him, Michael Krueger and Austin McGill almost traded spots, and it ended with Kruger sliding on the front straightaway, almost spinning out, but he saved it, and they have now lost touch with the 81 truck because of it.
Ooh, McGill right there on the back bumper of the 14, backs off it there, and they've gotten a little bit of breathing room between them now. But you saw where they were close and they were making contact with each other, leaning on each other through turn 1.
And it started with 2 and 17, really, as they were watching Parker get past through the front straightaway chicane by Moreno.
Go back and take a look at it here. You see Moreno ahead of Parker. You see Kruger tried to make the move, jumps the turtles, and that about puts McGill on the wall. Both of them sideways there on that front straightaway. But I noticed something too up ahead. Both the leaders pulling down pit road. Caldwell, Maher going to make their stops. And as they pull down pit road, we'll see what does Ethan Fonseca Moreno do. Looks like he's going to stay out and maintain the race lead for now with Parker behind him. There's Michael Krueger. Got to pull down pit road as well. So the all-important stop here to make sure that they are able to get their tires and their fuel or whatever else they get and to get off pit road as quick as possible to get ahead of one another. We're watching McGill go by. He will stay out. Alex Kerfin stayed out as well, it looks like. Maher and Caldwell with equal stop times, but a faster time off of pit road for that 69 truck. He comes out ahead of Cameron Caldwell with a good entry, a good pit road time. He was just about, give it about 9/10 faster on pit road. They had equal times in the box, but in terms of coming through the pit stall, through pit road all the way down to your stall, the 69 truck was faster. You got to give him credit to that, probably for that first stall that he owned after winning the pole. So he will hold over the position over Cameron Caldwell as they continue to battle for it. Ethan Fonseca Moreno takes the reins and leads the way here. Jonathan Parker right there in second, has yet to lead a lap, I believe, this race, which would be big for Michael Krueger. If Parker leads a lap, that's an extra point that that 81 truck's going to get.
Back to the pit stops for the 69 and 12 trucks. It was a phenomenal pit entry lap for that 69. He was ended the lap about 0.6 of a second behind Caldwell, and he was right on Caldwell's bumper pretty much entering pit road.
Jonathan Parker stays out. Fonseca Moreno goes to pit road. McGill staying out as well here as that 43 makes the lonely trip down pit road with Alex Kerfin staying out.
I mentioned that's going to be a bonus point for Parker. Meanwhile, we got one truck in the wall in turn 4. David Duran, he keeps going. So he's going to be one of the next trucks that is going to be lapped here by the leaders once everything gets cycled out, if he is yet already to pit, that it is.
They see Tristan Maher trying to make the move on Alex Kerfin. Peek to the inside. That might slow him up enough to allow Caldwell to get side by side with him. Couldn't quite do it. He's going to send it in on Kerfin there. That 30 truck's going to run it wide and let these two go. We saw Caldwell. You see that? Kerfin fought the wheel there to keep that one straight. But, you know, we saw it earlier with Caldwell battling with Michael Krueger. In that same corner, he ran it wide and went into the grass and lost a bunch of time. But we have not seen a mistake from Caldwell since that move. He's been able to get things squared away and set down laps that are just about perfect. But the issue is Maher's been able to set down perfect laps too with him.
Oh, great run to the bus stop there by Caldwell. He is going to peek to the outside on the speedway portion of the track. Can't really do anything with the run he's trying to formulate. It's trying to build into this complex of the track 16 and 17. Not close enough yet. He's in the grass a little bit in 16. Trying to set up for 17, though, over the turtles onto the front stretch.
They both have been doing that this whole race. They just about put their left sides in the grass. I don't know if that's just on my end. You see a car run ahead of him. That's Austin McGill, who was second place. Spins it around and turn 2 in front of leaders. Jeffrey Armistead going to come through and miss him. And McGill is going to tow it away. So that will be the end of a great debut for Austin J. McGill, losing it in turn 2. And that will be it for the 99.
Yeah, not just a tow, a complete disconnect. The night over all the way for the 99 truck. Just a slide into turn 2. Maybe a little bit of wall contact on entry. It didn't look like it, though, from my view, Dawson. But it did end with wall contact head-on once it did come to a rest afterward.
Yeah, nosed into the wall, then right here backs it up and just disappears. But right now, we're still keeping tabs on Tristan Maher and Cameron Caldwell. They're now scored second and third. Jonathan Parker has yet to come down pit road. So that's allowed these two to be second and third through the cycle. Michael Krueger currently scored in the 4th position. He will be third when they cycle back around. He's just ahead of Ethan Fonseca Moreno. So it looks like 3rd and 4th are right there with each other, just the same as 1st and 2nd are. We cross the stripe this time. 20 laps to go here at Charlotte, and I'm wondering how long can this 81 stay out? You see there, he is not. He has been top 5 this whole race. Lowest he's been is 4th. But right now, leading the field here, leading some laps in the later stages of this race, getting some valuable points that Michael Krueger has yet to get, and will not have a chance to get, I should say, as he continues on in the lead right now, with Maher and Caldwell closing rapidly.
Yeah, last lap for Caldwell was half a second slower than what Tristan Maher put, but he's still within a second of that 69 truck as they still circulate in that second and third positions.
Yeah, Caldwell has dropped about a second, and just up ahead there, ahead of race leader Jonathan Parker, is 10th place David Durand, who is currently the last car on the lead lap, battling, beating, and banging to a 10th place run right now. And you see there, Jonathan Parker has no shot to battle with these two, as Maher goes to the lead. Caldwell now follows behind in second.
There's only going to be a matter of time before they caught that 81 truck. They caught him pretty fast there, of course, this lap, and Jonathan just moved out of the way, and no challenge. And you see the lead they've already built up over Parker, so it's just going to hurt him even more when he finally aids and pits, makes way down that long pit road. It's going to be quite a few seconds on the track he's going to lose, but he is going to hope for a very fast short run with the fresh tires he bolts on here at the end of this race.
So how about a little stat here? How about your strictly stat of the night? Of the 15 races so far throughout the season, of the 15 different stage winners, 7 of them have gone on to win the race after also winning the stage. Tristan Maher looks to be the 8th on the season to sweep the stage and the race. And Cameron Caldwell looks to change that, so Maher would be, I believe he would be the 6th driver to do so, as only one driver has done it more than once. And I think if I give you a guess, I think you'd get it first try. It was Jonathan Parker is the only driver to sweep the race and the stage more than one time this season. And of course, we mentioned him. He is on pit road from 3rd place to get his service for the final time tonight. Tristan Maher looks to be the 2nd rookie to sweep the stage in the race, go back-to-back with Ryan Bogey, who did so last week. And not to mention, too, this would also be his the third driver, I should say, to win a road course race here in the In the Pits News Truck Series. Of course, Cameron Caldwell has went on to win pretty much every other road course that was not Watkins Glen earlier this year. Winning the Roval last season from the pole. He won Watkins Glen starting 2nd last season as well. And then, of course, he walked away with the win at Watkins Glen in Season 1, where he started from the pole as well.
And he's not letting Maher get away yet. They ran pretty much equal laps last time by. It was half a second last time by the Unival was between the two at the start-finish line. Let's see what it's going to be this time by the start-finish line. A little bit further back through the speedway part of the track, but Caldwell going to dive into 16 and 17.
Yeah, and like I said, Caldwell gains his time on the speedway section. Maher is much better in that infield area of this road course, where Caldwell is better on the speedway. So we see here, it looks like maybe a little bit of wall contact Maher had there with that turn 2 wall. That's going to open the door maybe for Caldwell to try to close the gap. They'll cross the stripe this next time. As you see Maher a little slow there. That opened the door. Caldwell's right there with him for a second. But Caldwell had to get out of it as well. Half a second is the gap coming onto the oval up ahead. That is David Durand, 10th place here on track. We'll see what happens when they get to him. When they cross the stripe this next time, it will be 16 laps to go. It looked like Durand was pulling out of the way. Or something happened. He just slammed the wall and missed the chicane. It almost looked like he slammed the wall there. Maybe when he was on the brakes, he went to downshift and it just shot back up into the wall. So that 24 machine is is all but junked now. But you see here, Cameron Caldwell right there, still trailing Tristan Maher as close as he can. 16 laps to go at the line this time.
Right there, they caught David Durand, who gets out of the way in turn 1, but held up Maher for a split second there, I believe, Dawson.
I was going to say, held up Maher more than he held up Caldwell. Caldwell still trying to make this run, generate it to where he can get right back with Maher. We'll see what he can do. Both these Radius Racing Chevy Silverados duking it out for everything they've got here tonight. Jeffrey Armistead is slow, it looks like. Unsure if he's coming to pit road or if he's just having issues. Looks like he had some issues, some wall contact there with that 20 machine, of course, making his debut for the season as well. This number 20 truck. He's not normally here on Saturday nights. You know, you see him back when we were running the Juggernaut Truck Series on Wednesdays, and of course, any other time you see him, you might see him when he's running with other SPLD affiliated races, like we saw him in the Court Trucks on Monday nights. But right now, it's still a battle for the lead. Cameron Caldwell still trying to hunt down teammate Tristan Maher.
Meanwhile, you mentioned Jonathan Parker a couple laps ago. He came down in pit road and pitted, and he is now up to the 5th position. I believe he came out in 8th, and he just passed Alex Kerfin in the infield on this lap, so he's making steam with that fresh tires on the 81 truck.
Making steam, but is it going to be enough to at least get the 3rd like he was when he pit in? We'll have to see. We've only got 15 laps to go. We're going to take you side by side one more time here for tonight's race. The Charlotte Roval, the action's still heating up. The battle for the lead, tight as ever between Cameron Caldwell and Tristan Maher. Maher looking for his 1st career win. Caldwell looking for his 4th road course win. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
How'd they get here? How should I know? T-Rex and Truex? I don't think so. I may not know how to travel back in time, but my crew knows what to do. When I wanna fly, crank around the wedge in the left rear. You're only turning 9,000, need another gear. Never know how. Never know how.
When I'm not cutting down my lap time, I'm cutting other stuff. Like cutting out the hassles by picking up my car from Carvana's car vending machine. It gives me what I want, when I want it. Vroom, vroom. Shop at Carvana.com.
Call Logano. Hey, Joey, you can save money if you fill up at Shell if you use Advanced Auto Parts Speed Perks.
Dude, I'm way ahead of you.
You saved at the pump?
Yeah, I saved at the pump.
The pump?
The pump.
He saved at the pump!
Woo! Now you can save at the pump when you shop at Advanced Auto Parts. Learn more at advancedautoparts.com/gas rewards.
Now, it's my turn.
Man, we're door to door. I have the better car, fresher tires. I drove it in deep, and you missed it. I know you wanted to watch it, but you got throttled by your data plan, and it slowed you down. You hit your data limit streaming all that techno music, didn't you? I mean, really? Man, you've You've got some questionable taste in music.
Switch to Sprint, the only network with truly unlimited data.
Danny and Harrison, welcome to the OfferPad family.
Thanks. Yeah, we're excited. You guys ready?
You know we're ready.
You know, at OfferPad, we're fast too. All online, cash offer in 24 hours. But we also like to make sure that each home selling experience feels special, easy, and different. You guys look awesome!
OfferPad really is different.
Yeah, awesome different.
Home selling with OfferPad is awesome different. Request your free cash offer today at OfferPad.com.
Practice went okay, but if he keeps pushing like that, what are you gonna do? Here we go.
Can you feel it? The taste of Coca-Cola.
Can I get your autograph?
Yeah, sure.
I can't wait to show my grandson.
We're closing in on the end of this race here at Charlotte. 12 laps to go in the 988 Suicide Hotline 150 presented by Grace the Cat. Tristan Maher continues to lead the field. Cameron Caldwell still hot on his trail, doing everything he can to go for the race win. Adam, it has been a crazy, hectic, chaotic one. But in the end of the day, right now, it's all going to come down to this last battle here between Caldwell and Maher. Who can make it last these final 12 laps?
Well, it's been a track position game all day. The only pass for the lead we've really seen has been, other than on the initial stage there, was the, I should say the only passes for the lead in the second stage has been on pit road. You saw the Cameron Caldwell get the lead on the second stage by pitting late in the first stage and leapfrogging everyone who pitted at the stage break, and now Maher passed him on that pit stop under green, so a little bit speedy, a little bit better pit entry, and a little bit pit exit allowed him to leapfrog him, but I think if Caldwell gets within a tenth of a second of him, he's going to make dive bomb moves and make chances. Neither one of these guys, like you mentioned earlier, are really racing for anything beyond this race. Caldwell's going to be back here next week and racing at Atlanta for a win, of course, but not racing in the playoffs. Huge slide there off of turn 4. Gave up a ton of time, Dawson.
Yeah, I was about to say, he slid there off of 4, and that cost him a lot of time there, as now he's going to have to hunt from about a second back and try to put together some perfect laps to catch this 69 truck. And let's take you through this race, where we got to this point here. In the first stage, the first lap, troubles early for a lot of these guys. Shane O'Neill, Scott Roush, Brett Bennett, Josh Arnold, Alonso Chicano, all missing that backstretch chicane on lap 1. Roush and Bennett got into it coming into turn 1 to start lap 2, excuse me. That wound up taking them both out of the race. Shane O'Neill out of the race after his incident in the bus stop. Josh Coppernoll and Josh Arnold both wound up dropping after accidents on their own. Dalton Kelly is out of this race as well. Matthew Stotts is also disconnected from this race. He is going to be scored 14th. So it will put him in a must-win scenario come next week if he wants to make it into the championship race. Austin J. McGill is scored 13th at the end of this one after a promising start there, running top 5 that whole race up until his accident in the turn 2. Ryan Bogey, last week's winner, is currently scored 9 laps down. He is in 12th place. Looks like there's nowhere to go up or down. He is kind of locked in where he is. Jeffrey Armistead is a lap down in 11th. David Durand is in 10th. Andrew Elias a lap down in 9th. And we have 8 drivers on the lead lap, all chasing Tristan Maher in the 69 truck, who's currently got a second lead. He's been losing a little bit of time here to Cameron Caldwell, but not enough exponentially to really matter yet. It'll all come down to how these laps start to shake out as we approach the end of this race.
Yeah, we mentioned, we've documented in this race on the broadcast how much Maher has been better than Caldwell on the infield. I think it's been changed a little bit. Caldwell was a very, very aggressive there on the infield portion of the racetrack there this last time by, and closed in a lot in the infield section. Here he is again in the bus stop. Granted on the speedway part, but he's going to lose him through 3 and 4 here because of the aggressive approach in the bus stop.
You say that. I wouldn't say that just yet. He's still gaining a little bit of time. He is still pulling up on the race leader, so that bobble he had in turn 4 a couple laps ago, that gap has been almost completely erased. Caldwell, that time by, Maher ran a 1:24.4, Caldwell a 1:23.7. That is the best lap anybody has run in the in the entirety of this race, pretty much. A 1:23.7 is the best lap that anybody has had since the pit stops where they got fresh tires. An amazing lap that Caldwell put together, but he's going to have to keep putting those together if he wants to close the deal here.
And always the situation is passing him is one thing, or excuse me, catching him is one thing, passing him is the other. I really messed that up. But that's what Caldwell's not wanting to do, is messing it up. He's just slid the rear tires out there going through turn 6, I believe, and the truck skated, and it's skating again there on the approach to the oval. He's just gonna have to keep in mind these last 8-9 laps to not burn off the rear tires, make them too aggressive. We know it's hot track conditions here tonight, so it's gonna be very, very interesting to see him as he makes a very aggressive approach to the bus stop. They're closing up again on that 69, but see what he does here through 16 and 17.
Approaching lap traffic, it's the number 25, Alonso Chicano, 8th place right now as they run. You see him just up ahead heading through this chicane. We'll see what Cameron Caldwell can do. 8 laps remaining here at Charlotte. Can Cameron Caldwell go back-to-back, or will we see yet another first-time winner here in the InThePitsNews Truck Series with Tristan Maher taking home the checkered flag? Looking at some more stats here, looking through the field, that would be, I believe, our 6th. Let me double check that. That'd be our 5th first-time winner of the season, actually. Excuse me. He would be the 5th driver to score their first career win here in Season 3 if he can hang on and hold off Cameron Caldwell, but Caldwell is charging. He is putting down some fast laps, and he is making sure the pressure is on and that Maher does not get away with this one easy. You see Alonso Chicano on the apron down there, going to get out of the leader's way. Let these two settle it amongst themselves.
6.5 tenths was the official gap last time at the finish line. Let's see what it's going to be this next time as we watch them navigate, the back straightaway chicane as they go back onto the speedway part in 3 and 4. Maher looks to gain a little bit through this part, but we'll see. His 12 truck is going to be very aggressive here in 16, 17, of course, and you see him dive very close to the back of that 69 truck here.
Trying to stay right there with him at the line that time. It's about even from what it was last lap. That time by Maher ran a faster lap overall, but you see though, you got to feel like the pressure is on. Caldwell is still right there with him, getting up on his back bumper, getting as close as he can to him to try to put some pressure on him.
Yeah, you said it looked the same. It pretty much stayed the same. In terms of tenths, it did hundredths. Maher put away 300ths of them compared to Caldwell at the finish line last lap, but Caldwell still very aggressive here in the infield part of the track, diving into turn 5.
Yeah, you see here, Caldwell is able to gain time now in this infield section, like we saw Maher doing when he was trailing behind in second. Now Caldwell is trying to make sure he can get a good entry into the oval section, going to try to catch the draft of that 69 truck and see if he can pull back with them. But right now, he is currently stuck right where he is not able to fully gain. Cameron Caldwell, of course, scored his 6th career win at Talladega, looking for career win number 7. If he can get it done here tonight, he is the winningest driver in the InThePitsNews Truck Series history with his 6 career wins. He was tied with Alonso Chicano heading into the season after Vegas, when Chicano won. But after that now, Caldwell winning at Talladega, looking to put another win to his name here tonight, but he's still got to catch and pass that 69 Tristan Maher.
Wow, the wheel really stepped out there through turn 5 for Maher. Let's see if Caldwell's going to be able to execute going towards the oval, not really through this straightaway, this quick straightaway back onto the oval. Now let's see if he can do anything. The long way all the way into the back straight of chicane from the time you enter the over portion of this track.
On board with Cameron Caldwell here, heading into the bus stop, trailing race leader Tristan Maher. Wasn't able to get the exit he wanted there. Going to lose some time, big time there. It's a bad exit by Cameron Caldwell.
Ooh, a little bit of grass there, exiting the front stretch chicane there for Caldwell.
Caldwell is struggling now big time for grip. He is fighting that truck. It is a handful and a half as he continues to trail Tristan Maher, who has now gotten a second lead over the number 12 truck. And now the gap growing bigger. Maher running faster than Caldwell and continuing to put time between them.
And these guys have 28 seconds and more on the next truck. It's just how fast they are. And it's the way it seems to go always in these BSR Truck Series races on the road race, and the road courses, Dawson. These road races really get spread out like this, where it's two dominant guys way over the rest of the top of the field. And it's just in a pack of trucks together like we have right now tonight.
Yeah, Maher just needs to put together 4 more clean laps. As it's now growing to a 2-second lead, it looks like Caldwell might have finally burned off his stuff, trying to push to get back by the 69 truck, but he's still got to make it 4 laps. Yeah, Maher's still got to make it 4 clean laps without any mistakes. And that's a tall order for a track like this. You know, if it's just an oval track, you know, you just kind of breathe in a sigh of relief and go, okay, 4 more laps, let's get after it. But a road course, it's so much longer. It feels so much longer. You feel like every single corner, every little inch where that wheel comes out of your hands that you're about to snap loose and lose it all. And so you are much more on the edge in a road course setting than you are in an oval. We saw there, it looks like Jeffrey Armistead came down pit road. It looks like he has left as well. He is no longer on the track, so he'll be scored 11th. Ryan Bogey will not be able to pass him, so he is going to end up staying 12th. David Rand, of course, staying in the 10th position then, and Relias 9th, and Chicano 8th as they run coming out of the infield section. Maher continuing to lead here, 1.3 seconds and gaining. And he is looking for his first career win here in just his 6th start in the In the Pits News Truck Series. Of course, with this win, though, it would make him, again, the 5th new winner of this season as he hits 3 to go this time. He would not be the quickest to score a victory in their career. Of course, if you discount everybody that ran Season 1, because, of course, they're going to be pretty quick when they start the season. The next guy that had won in such a short amount of starts was Joseph Lester back in Season 2. He won his 3rd career start at Auto Club. And, you know, there was somebody else we saw win their first win at Auto Club, and that was Jonathan Parker. He was able to score his first career win then, and we mentioned him. He's currently in the 5th position. Looks like he's not been able to gain any time on either Fonseca Moreno or Michael Krueger. Those two, though, however, look to be like it's closing the gap. Moreno was faster the past couple laps than Krueger, so he might have a shot to catch him and maybe contend for that 3rd spot. But right now, out front, gaining time, gaining ground, is Tristan Maher over Cameron Caldwell.
Yeah, I've been going back and forth between those two battles you mentioned of Dawson. Or 3, really, when you mentioned Parker and his tribulation back up through the field on the fresh tire, not really working out. He is just kind of hanging out in an island of his own right now. He was with Andrew Elias, but he's pulled away from him a little bit more. Can't really see the 43 quite yet in terms of through the infield part of the track.
Just 2 laps remain. 2 more times for Tristan Maher to navigate this course and score the victory. David Duran looks like he has pulled down pit road. He might be calling it a race as well.
And real quick, you mentioned the lead. 2-second lead for Maher. Longest, or the biggest lead we've seen him have since he took the lead over from Caldwell on the pit stop cycle. So very, very great run here. As Caldwell got on the grass there on the back side of the infield going into turn 4, had to get out of the throttle real quick, and that hurt the speed a little bit there for that 12 machine.
Yeah, you mentioned the biggest lead we've seen all night. That's not including those pit stop cycles where everybody was pitting. This is the biggest lead we've seen when everybody was on track racing. Most of the time this lead has not been more than a second and a half, because you had somebody right there on the tailgate battling with it. This race has been all about who makes the least amount of mistakes, and so far it has been the 69 of Tristan Maher who's made the least amount of mistakes. But of course, I don't want to jinx him just yet, knocking on my wood for him, because he's going to have one more lap when he comes through oval 3 and 4 and hits that front stretch chicane. A 2-second gap over Cameron Caldwell as he comes to the chicane. This will be it. The white flag is out. One more lap here at the Charlotte Roval for Tristan Maher.
Caldwell closed in the lead just a little bit, just a few tenths there that last time by. It's going to be one hell of a charge if he can make anything happen here. It's going to be all the speed into the last couple of chicanes, I think, and it's going to happen here. Not much through the side of the infield. Halfway through the infield section to go, though.
Tristan Maher making his 6th career start here with Radius Racing. He made some starts in Season 1, and he's made a couple more starts earlier this season as well. But now he comes here to the Roval. He dominates in practice. He tops the practice boards. He tops it in qualifying, starting on the pole, and he wins the stage. But now, as he navigates his way through Oval 1 and 2 here, heading down the back straightaway for the final time. Heavy braking zone as he makes his way into the bus stop. Caldwell is going to try to send it in. He hops the turtles a little bit there, runs it a little wide, almost gets the wall there, but he's still got a 1.3 second gap. And so coming through oval 3 and 4 into the front stretch chicane, Tristan Maher is going to navigate the turtles masterfully, and he'll come across the stripe and win for the first time in his career. Tristan Maher wins the Charlotte Roval 988 Suicide Hotline 150 presented by Grace the Cat.
Excellent job there for that 69 truck to get the job done. As he crossed the finish line, accelerated, lining the rear tires up a little bit, and as Caldwell came off as a 17, smacked the outside wall, knowing he was defeated. A little bit hard charge there with the push, trying anything he could, but pretty much knowing it was over. You mentioned huge slides through the back straightaway chicane, and that was pretty much the last chance he had there, losing all kinds of speed through Speedway 3 and 4.
I've got to go back because there is something we just missed here at the end of this one. There was a battle coming through 3 and 4 for the final time in this race in the oval. Ethan Fonseca Moreno got to the side by side with Michael Krueger, heading into the final front stretch chicane. There was contact, there was dooring, there was sliding, but in the end, Michael Krueger somehow held on for third.
Well, it all started in the chicane. Kruger almost spun out, getting back on the power. He just almost spun out onto the apron in turn 3. He did a great job saving that there, but that's what allowed Fonseca Moreno to get on the inside.
Looking through the rest of the field as they navigate through 3 and 4. Sixth career start, first career win after starting on the pole, winning the stage. I guess you could say it was a dominant drive for this 69 truck. He'll make it to the front stretch, and he'll burn it down. Tristan Maher scores the victory. Andy Relias going to go for a jump through turn 1. As Maher continues to burn it down. Celebrating for his first career win. And so with that, we'll take a look at your finishing results here in the BSR Truck Series. Tristan Maher scoring the win here, with Cameron Caldwell finishing it up in second. Michael Krueger, Ethan Fonseca Moreno with that tight battle to the line there. And then Jonathan Parker rounding out your top 5.
Alex Kufin is going to finish in 6th with Justin Duran 7th. Alonso Chicano 1 lap down is 8th. Andrew Elias ended up 9th. And David Duran did not finish. He ends up 10th, poking it with 2 laps to go.
In the 11th position is Jeffrey Armistead. He finished 7 laps down. Then it's Ryan Bogey finishing at 12th, last week's winner at Michigan. Austin J. McGill in his debut winds up 13th. Matthew Stotts brings it home 14th, putting himself now in a must-win scenario. And Dalton Kelly rounding out the top 15.
16th is Joshua Arnold. 17th, Joshua Capano. 18th, Brett Bennett. 19th, Scott Roush, both involved in incidents on lap 1, and Shane O'Neill involved in an incident himself in lap 1, rounds out the field in 20th.
And that will do it for your finishing results there. And why do you say we take a talking to first with the guy who came out right there ahead at the finish for 3rd place. Let's see if we can get a hold of Mike Krueger. Hey, Mike Krueger, this is Dawson up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Dawson.
Alrighty, a tense, chaotic, hectic, exciting race there, and it all came down to that final chicane, able to navigate to 3rd place there at the end of this one. Take us through that final lap there, what it was like battling with Ethan Fonseca Moreno.
Well, in the past, I thought with about like 5 or so ago, I thought I had about like a second and a half gap on him. I thought I'd potentially be able to ride it out a little bit and kind of pull away, maybe a little bit, maintain the gap in those few laps. But I'm guessing he saved his stuff up because he was able to catch up by like 3 or 4 tenths or so every lap. And on the whites, I knew it was going to be really hard to hold him off there. And he was pushing really hard on my bumper. I mean, I knew he'd probably try to do something after earlier in the race. I gave him the bumper a couple times, which honestly, like, that was just kind of my fault there. Just stupid stuff I'm doing there, my fault. And to that last chicane, yeah, when I thought I had it okay out of the bus stop, but I just got out of shape there and just lost a lot of speed. I saw him coming. I thought, oh, this isn't good. And so then I decided to just settle on the outside going to the corner, because I thought I'd have the preferred line on the turn in, and I ended up just missing the corner, and I missed the corner because I was too focused with him on my outside, and I forced him off, which, I mean, I didn't mean to force him off there. It's my fault. I mean, just like that. I mean, I'm sorry about how I raced Ethan. I kind of feel a little guilty how I raced him there at the end. I mean, it was exciting racing him at the end, but I feel like he's frustrated at that, which, I mean, I'm sorry for how I raced him.
Well, alrighty, you were able to still walk away with a 3rd place finish on the podium. Not able to fully really close the gap on Parker as he was able to finish 5th, but overall still a good day. You are locked into the playoffs. What's that situation feeling like for you heading into this final race at Atlanta?
Well, it feels good. Feels good to have the pressure off, being locked in ahead of Atlanta. Just, it really gives me no pressure for how to approach Atlanta, really. Like, I can really, like, I don't have to go, like, point my way in or anything. I could just, like, race however I want to Atlanta. Of course, I want to do it cleanly, a lot clearer than I did tonight, but it just really eases the pressure off and really gives me, like, to either go out there and win or just have a quiet day and just get points for the playoffs. So that's nice to get locked in for the 2nd season in a row.
Alrighty, well, going for it for a 2nd time to try to go for a championship. Michael Krueger, 3rd place here at Charlotte. Congratulations, Michael.
Thank you.
And with that, we move on to Adam, who I believe has good buddy Cameron Caldwell.
Yeah, hey Cameron, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, it was just short. Second place finish there tonight. You had the lead coming onto that last pit stop with a strategy we'll get to in a minute, but you lost the lead there with Tristan coming right on your heels onto the pit entry, and then he came out right in front of you. What do you have to think about that and the fight trailing him all the way in that second stage there at the end?
Yeah, I think that just comes down to the number one pit stall. Obviously, he's always launched and turned right out, and I had to kind of maneuver around some things. And it seemed like he got out of his box before, like it really would have mattered anyway. But I think I don't really know what's going on there, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm kind of bummed it came down to that final pit stop. But it is what it is. I had 23, 24 laps to get it back around him, and I couldn't. So. It is what it is. But yeah, I do wish that pit stop went a little bit different, but so be it.
And first off, in the opening stage, sliding off in turn 5, racing Michael Krueger, contact, maybe a little slight contact with the wall, and then you pitted right away to change the tires. That strategy to get to the lead, how split decision was that? And did you expect to come away with the lead, and you anticipate anyone else to do that with you?
It was kind of a split decision there. We were kind of talking about whether it would be worth it or not, and I wasn't really planning on it until that little incident happened. I knew if I had not done that, I would have been back in traffic. And I felt like track position was more important than tires, and I just kind of coasted around the track for the last couple laps of the stage. So I kind of felt like I was going to be the only one to do it, so I knew I would probably the lead. And it obviously worked out for that first run. But yeah, so I don't know. It was a good strategy call on my part, I think. Just obviously it didn't work out in the end, but for what I was hoping it would do, it worked out perfect.
Absolutely. Before we let you go, who you'd like to thank tonight after a run-up finish here at the Roval?
Yep. Thanks to my sponsor, C2 Graphics and the Pits News Group Network, Milwaukee Massage Therapy, Left Coast Rivals, RPS Marketing, everyone on my team at Radius. Shout out to Tristan for the win and the awesome battle all race. Definitely kept me on my toes when I was leading. It kept me on it when I was behind. So that was a lot of fun. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting. Thanks to all the fans for watching. Thanks to my friends and family for watching. And we'll see you guys next week at Atlanta.
All right. Thanks again, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week, Atlanta. Hopefully, we get to talk to you.
Yep. Thanks, Adam.
That was the second place finisher tonight, Kevin Caldwell, in the 12 machine.
And with that, we're gonna go to our race winner here. First place on the podium, a clean sweep of the race. Tristan Maher, welcome back, and in victory lane here tonight. Congratulations, first off.
Thank you, guys.
And so it was a battle to the end. Of course, after the stage, you came out on pit road second after Cameron Caldwell, with his strategy call, got to the lead. When that run was going on, it was kind of you staying behind Cameron and kind of following along. Were you just planning on riding it out until the pit stops, or were you going to try to make some moves there if the opportunity presented itself?
If the opportunity presented itself, I think I definitely would have tried to do something. I think that clean air means a lot at this track, because the trucks, when you're behind somebody, can they can get pretty tight, and it can be really hard to get a run on somebody, and it's a lot harder to save the rear tires if your truck is tight, because you have to put more wheel in it, and then you end up getting loose coming off the corners. So yeah, definitely, if the opportunity presented itself, I think I would have tried to make a move.
Alrighty, well, that pit stop that came up there that was all so important. That first pit stall really paid dividends for you to getting off a pit road ahead of Cameron Caldwell. What were your thoughts, coming off pit road in front of him, realizing that you then got that cleaner that you wanted so long?
Honestly, I wasn't really sure if I was going to beat him off pit road, but I kind of felt like that was my only chance. honestly, when I came out in front of him, my biggest thought was like, okay, you know, he's going to be trying to pressure you, trying to push you into making mistakes and stuff, trying to push me into burning up my stuff. So I just tried to, you know, stay calm, run my race, tried not to look in the mirror too much, and it ended up working out.
Alrighty, you walk away with your first career win and your sixth start, the fifth new winner of the season. You know, what does this mean to you? Possible momentum going into these next few races to end the season.
I don't think that I'm eligible for the chase, so I guess I'm just kind of here to play spoiler and trophy hunt and try to win some races. You know, I don't think that I have anything as far as points wise that I can race for. I think I joined a little bit too late, but hopefully I can have some fun and have some good races with these guys.
Well, alrighty, first place here. Anybody else you want to shout out? Teammates, sponsors? What got that number 69 truck into victory lane?
Yeah, first we gotta thank the league, In the Pits News, for sponsoring, and then Radius Racing. Obviously, it's a fantastic team. I think everybody on this team is super helpful, and I enjoy hanging out around them and talking to them and stuff like that. I have to thank Cam for one of the most fun races that I've had in a long time. I know it wasn't super side by side and stuff, but just sitting there every single corner coming off, checking the relatives, seeing if he got a better run or if I got a better run. You know, it was just super fun, and you know, we both essentially to finish where we finished, we both had to run this race absolutely perfect. And I tried to run it as perfect as I could, but Cam definitely kept me on my toes the whole time, and I'm sweating. I need a shower.
Alrighty, well, we'll let you get to that. Congrats again, Tristan Maher. First career win here at the Charlotte Roval.
Thanks, guys.
And, well, Adam, that will conclude the race coverage here at Charlotte. What are your closing thoughts on this race, about how everything played out there?
Well, I didn't expect it to be determined off of a pit stop, especially in green flag conditions. So that was very interesting to see, and I was very glad to see it end with them relatively close, within a second, pretty much the entire way to the end. Wish they could have got side by side, like they mentioned. They didn't get side by side battle, but Dirty O just wasn't meant to be with the way they run around here. It was a pretty nice battle all the way throughout the pack. That's what we expected. We expected two or three runaway guys, and then rest of the field running tight together, and then a bunch more spread out. So it pretty much came like that. So it was fun to see all around that way, and it was a great battle, like they all mentioned.
Yeah, it was definitely, fun to watch here up in the booth. All the chaos and the carnage got out of the way early on, and it got down to just the race, and a lot of these guys, it all came down to not making a mistake, and who made the least mistakes, and of course that wound up being that 69 truck of Tristan Maher, notching his first career win. So we bring back up the schedule here as we get ready to head into the penultimate race before the championship. As we head to Atlanta Super Speedway next Saturday, same time, same place, 8 p.m. Eastern, here on JCTV. It should be a fun one, of course, as everybody that's down below that cut line looks to battle for it. Of course, this is before this week's points, but of course, now we know Ethan Fonseca Moreno, Matthew Stotts are going to be in must-win scenarios to make the playoffs. Andrew Elias is going to be up there. He's on the chopping block right now. Alonso Chicano is safe. Dalton Kelly safe. Cameron Caldwell, of course, is not racing, as is Brett Bennett. And Alex Kerfin is going to lock his way into the playoffs. So, pretty much, your field is all but locked up. And with that, that will conclude coverage of tonight's events here at the Charlotte Roval. We want to thank you for tuning in and watching. And for Josh Coppernoll, Adam Kuhn, this is Dawson Allen signing off, saying so long and have a great rest of your night.